In the modern world, yoga is often looked as a form of exercise. However, do you know that it is more than just bending our body? Patanjali is widely known as the father of yoga, but yoga originated thousands of years before that. Let me explain you today how the first yogi took on the role of guru and transmitted the science of yoga to his 7 disciples, which eventually became the 7 basic forms of yoga. In the yogic culture, Lord Shiva is not referred as a god, but he is known as the adiyogi or the first yogi, the originator of yoga. He was the one who first put this seed into the human mind. According to the yogic lore, over 15,000 years ago, Shiva attained to his full enlightenment and abandoned himself in an intense ecstatic dance upon the Himalayas. When his ecstasy allowed him some movement, he danced wildly. When it became beyond movement, he became utterly still. People saw that he was experiencing something that nobody had known before, something that they were unable to fathom. Interest developed and people came wanting to know what this was. They came, they waited, and they left because the man was oblivious to other people's presence. He was either in intense dance or absolute stillness, completely uncaring of what was happening around him. Soon, everyone left. Except for 7 men. These 7 people were insistent that they must learn what this man had in him, but Shiva ignored them. They pleaded and begged him, to which Shiva said, "There is a tremendous amount of preparation needed to attain this." The 7 people started preparing themselves. Day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, they prepared. Shiva just chose to ignore them. On a full moon day, after 84 years of sadhana, when the solstice had shifted from the summer solstice to the winter solstice, which in this tradition is known as Dakshinayana, the adiyogi looked at these 7 people and saw that they had become shining receptacles of knowing. They were absolutely ripe to receive and he could not ignore them anymore. He watched them closely for the next few days, and when the next full moon rose, he decided to become a guru. The adiyogi transformed himself into the Adi Guru. The first guru was born on that day, which is today known as Guru Purnima. On the banks of Kanti Saravar, a lake that lies a few kilometers above Kedarnath, he turned south to shed his grace upon the human race, and the transmission of the yogic science to these 7 people began. The yogic science is not about a yoga class that we all go through about how to bend our body, which every newborn infant knows, or how to hold your breath, which every unborn infant knows. This is the science of understanding the mechanics of the entire human system. After many years, when the transmission was complete, it produced 7 fully enlightened beings. The 7 celebrated sages who are today known as the saptarishis, who are worshipped and admired in Indian culture. Shiva put different aspects of yoga into each of these 7 people, and these aspects became the 7 basic forms of yoga. The saptarishis were sent in 7 different directions to different parts of the world to carry this dimension with which a human being can evolve beyond his present limitations and compulsions. They became the limbs of Shiva, taking the knowledge and technology of how a human being can exist here as the creator himself, to the world. The adiyogi brought this possibility that a human being need not be contained in the defined limitations of our species. He said, "You can evolve beyond your present limitations if you do the necessary work upon yourself." That is the significance of adiyogi and the origin of yoga.